Hello there. Thank you for joining this live chat session, viewers. Let me welcome all of you, each of you, in fact. Alex ZU is the first one who has joined this live chat session. Thank you for joining, Alex. A.Z. King, Aline Nibyohi, Peace and Love, Chilote Getu, Damise Kibre, Sigma, AZ King, Rashid, Red Moon, then one in Amharic. His message is, hello Sajid, I thank you for your updated information. Madane Yagbi Kadan, Latish. He's been watching me for some time. I know him. Burji Suyama, Eline Niyuhere, Modane, Getiye Alimu, Bisu and Nagari, Tis Faldat Habte. So thank you, Abdi Muhammad, Fisseha Daoud, Adam, Dasaleo Jamber, ABL. Thank you for joining, all of you. It's a treat for me to be talking to you in live chat sessions. Live chat sessions now are becoming frequent because I am away from Pakistan, so now I have some time to talk to you. At home, I am busier perhaps, some responsibilities with family, with kids too, but here I can take some time out for the live chat sessions. Two announcements before we start this live chat session. Firstly, I have enabled channel memberships. You can be a member, a dedicated member of the channel by clicking a link which is in description section of this video, and hopefully soon I will start members exclusive chats too, and members can reach me whenever they want to, they can contact me, they can reach me. Secondly, this is super chat which we are conducting now. You can contribute by buying super thanks, super chat, stickers, etc. Now, let me take the first comment which we have received today. Aline says, I'm your follower from Mozambique. Thank you, Aline. When will you start a university regarding East Africa studies? No. I'm still a student. No. East Africa, you can learn a lot about East Africa. What needs is your commitment. Otherwise, it's not that I know too much or a lot about East Africa. No. I am just a beginner, just a student trying to understand East Africa through you people. I talk to you. That is how I understand. I do my research too. I try to study the context to developments. But I'm still a student. Sajid, the Biso Nigeri, Sajid, the Pretoria deal neutralizes Tigray's enemies of the three axis, Abiy, Isaias, and the Amhara vigilante Fano. Now Abiy is fighting with Fano, and soon Fano will be a history. Well, Pretoria deal had nothing to do with this fighting. What happened after Pretoria deal happened after the deal. So we cannot say that fighting in Amhara is a result of Pretoria, or that Abiy-Isaias conflict is a result of Pretoria. I maintain this position that Tigray basically, TPLF basically had to sign Pretoria deal. It was suffering losses in the battlefield. I said that was a deal of capitulation. I still maintain that. Where are you? Someone said, Abel Tariko. I'm not in Pakistan. I am out of Pakistan these days. If Ethiopia captured Port Asab, what will response of international community? Well, we have seen first statement from US. US is opposing the provocation. So in a way, US rebuked Ethiopian PM Abiy that PM Abiy should not ignite a new conflict in this region. This is US official position. But I would say that world stands with countries according to world's interests. If American interests are with Ethiopia, they'll support capturing of Assab by Ethiopia, or you can say they won't take any action against Ethiopia. If American interests are against Ethiopia, they will not support it. So international conscience is a bit difficult to understand. See what is happening in Israel. Not a single condemnation of airstrikes on Gaza. People are only talking about Hamas's attack of 7th of October, that Hamas started all this mess. What happened after that, no one is talking about that. Why? Because US West have interests in backing Israel. And the US was quick to call for ceasefire in Ethiopia. Commendable. The US does not want a ceasefire in the Middle East. So what matters is interest. Where do Western interests lie? Their interests lie in supporting Ethiopia. But problem is that what about other players? China, Russia, Arab countries. Maybe their interests lie with Eritrea. So international community will be split, I think. When it comes to the West, do you think Westerners are in difficult position with regard to having conflicts of interest? I elaborated a little in response to the previous question that Westerners protect their own interests. They have no regard for human rights abuses, for protection of human rights. They kept on calling for protection of human rights, international investigations into human rights abuses committed in Ethiopia. Nothing happened, and a few days ago, mandate of UN Inquiry Commission was terminated. They did not oppose it. So basically, they want to protect their own rights. How you explain the military capabilities of Eritrean army now? I cannot explain that in a few sentences. I think numbers could be on Ethiopia side. Ethiopia obviously has more population, bigger army, regional forces, militia members. What about skills? What about discipline? What about chain of command? What about organization? What about decades of fighting conflicts internally, externally? I'll do separate video, but I think I said in a few words. Alim Gizao asks, how does dollar go to Fano and to which faction? Well, when people donate money to Fano groups abroad, living in the US, etc., what I have heard is that those who donate money, they tell to which Fano group this money should go. There they write the name of the beneficiary. But problem is that we don't know about the actual mechanism through which this money is being sent and who are the recipients. Because in diaspora, there are several groups and individuals raising money. And some are doing it separately. So there is no one mechanism for collection of money abroad. That is why I've been saying there must be auditing. Those who are donating money, they should demand audit of this money. They should ensure that the money reaches those to whom they donated. So we don't know what is the mechanism, and there are problems. That is why, if you remember, Mere Buddha spoke a few weeks ago, and his statement was criticized by several other Fano groups. He talked about some problems when it comes to collection of money in the name of Fano abroad, and he appointed his own representative. So APF has David Wolde Georgius, Mere Buddha has a representative as well. AAA is also collecting money, Ethio 360 people as well, Abebe Balo as well. There are several individual organizations, and some could be making money in the name of Fano. So we actually don't exactly know how much money is being raised and to which factions, which groups this money is being sent. Anis Ahmed, thank you for continuing to provide impartial reporting. Thank you, Anis, for contributing. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you, AZ King, for supporting the channel. RBK has a question. Have you ever eaten Eritrean Ethiopian food like injera? You should try it. I have not eaten it, but I think Ethiopian and Indian, Pakistani foods are a little bit similar, I think. So I think I would love Ethiopian Eritrean food, I think. I have never tried though. It's not available here in Pakistan. How much Fano pays you? Someone says. Fano is in need of money. Fano is not in a position to pay others, by the way. Why did ASF rebel, and what is Fano's cause? Edis is asking. And do you think they have a chance at fighting? ASF rebelled because ASF was disbanded, and ASF thought it was a way of giving Volkayt and Humaira Volkay Sagade Royal Mata Quorum to TPLF. The TPLF was on its way to take control of Volkayat and Raya. That is why ASF rebelled. ASF members joined Fano factions, Fano groups. Are you analysts? ITube post asks. I don't know. It's up to the people to decide who I am. But I believe I am a student because you never complete your learning if you are learning about a country, about a region. All day new developments happen and you link the developments to previous developments, then you study historical context. So it's an ongoing process, I think. My life, Sajid, if Abiy was winning the war against Tigray, why would he go to Pretoria? Wars cannot go on for ages. Wars have to come to an end. And I think Abiy ended the war on his terms. So I still maintain that that war ended on Abiy's terms, not on Tigray's terms. Voice of Ethiopia, why are you so much interested on reporting on Ethiopia? I have responded to this question dozens of times. Egypt will not let Ethiopia close to Red Sea, which means Somalia and Djibouti line up. Well, Egypt might not interfere directly, but Egypt and Eritrea are now on one page. Isaias Afwerki has managed to form a regional front, I think. Egypt, Sudan, Eritrea, Somalia, all joining hands. So, Djibouti disgruntled because of Abiy's remarks. So Ethiopia is basically isolated now because of PM Abiy's remarks. Sajid, what you have understand, Abiy never failed. He given the country for next 20 years. This is the comment. Adam, do you see the dream of an independent Tigray become a reality? No. Because TPLF agreed. It is part of Pretoria deal. TPLF agreed. That is what PM Abiy said at a speech in the parliament, that TPLF agreed to abandon its call for independence. And after that, deal was signed. So no sign, no likelihood of any independent Tigray. General Komsa, Ethiopia is in the process of recruiting 2 million strong army, all equipped with Turkish armament. Who will feed, who will pay salaries to 2 million Ethiopians? I reported 2 days ago about a decline in Ethiopian credit rating by an international credit rating agency. Ethiopian economy is in dire need of a bailout package. So who will pay salaries to this 2 million army which you are mentioning? Ilyas, he is talking without evidence and knowledge, being a student. Why don't you do other job and focus on that than being YouTuber day and night? Well, that is my right to do a job or be on YouTube. I cannot force anyone to watch me. If people think that my work should be followed, they should. Otherwise, they have lots of options available. Hundreds of channels all day make reports about Ethiopia, Eritrea. Do you see, Sajid, how many soldiers are in Fano? Difficult to get numbers because Fano is operating in the form of groups. There is no one central command, though I heard this morning that maybe in coming days we could see some progress towards the announcement of a more central structure. I have learned that maybe it could happen. So It could happen, I think, in coming days. But so far, Fano does not have this sort of central structure. Line, Sajid, please do not hear the negative comment. You are very popular, Ethiopian, very trusted. Such comments keep me going, believe me. Your appreciation matters a lot for me, by the way, because when you appreciate my work through comments, some are my subscribers on Patreon, some are my channel members, some are buying super chat stickers, thanks, and some are just commenting, just saying, Sajid, thank you. All this contribution matters a lot because it keeps me going. It makes me feel that what I am doing has some value. By the way, I remember several people's stories who used to contact me during the 2-year-long war in Tigray. I don't want to name anyone. A lady from the US, I remember, her son worked in an organization, aid organization in Tigray. War broke out and she was worried. All communications cut off. Maybe she's listening to me, and she says that she used to stay in touch with My Views and News to understand the situation on the ground, and she was hoping her son would be alive. Several other people, they said, Sajid, we changed our locations. We moved to new places because of your reporting during war. You were predicting about the direction of war, and we kept on changing our locations. You saved our lives. So this is what is indirectly being done by this channel. I did not make videos to guide people to change their location, but indirectly people learned, they trusted the reports, they changed their locations, and they said that that saved their lives. There are people who learn from me. There are people who guide me, who instruct me, who correct me. That is what My Views on News is, that all of us learn from each other, interact. I am on vacation, but still I cannot help making videos. I cannot help talking to you. So it's just my life now, talking to people of Ethiopia, Eritrea, Ethiopians, Eritreans, Somali, Sudanese living abroad in Africa. It has become part and parcel of my life now. Arsenal, don't you think annexing part of country is internationally unacceptable? Yes, unacceptable, illegal, illegitimate. Math channel. Hi Sajid, how are you doing? I'm fine, brother. When do you become Ethiopian citizen? I don't think they'll grant me Ethiopian citizenship, the people in government. Comsa is commenting about growth rate, that economy is going to grow by 7%. We can feed our own people. No, I don't agree. Problem is that if you look at growth rate of Ethiopian economy and growth of Ethiopian population, you would see that this fast, it's not very fast, but even this much, 7% growth is not enough. apart from growth, you need to control your population as well. I think Ethiopian population growth rate is one of the highest in the world. I think Ethiopia is among top 10 countries when it comes to high growth rate of population. Do you believe Fano struggle is for freedom? Sintaccio Demise, not for freedom. By the way, Fano fighters don't want independent Amhara region. Though we saw one map, I did a video on that once. But Fano fighters want something more. They think they are true heirs to Ethiopia. That Ethiopia was made by their forefathers. Ethiopia is theirs. That is how they think. So they want entire Ethiopia to be under their control. They want to rule in collaboration with other parties, other ethnic groups. They want their government of choice in Addis Ababa. They don't want a separate Amhara country. There are elements in Tigray which want a separate Tigray region. But there are Amhara mainly want a united Ethiopia, but united Ethiopia under Amhara groups. J3546, wrong, Fano doesn't think like that. Well, I am sharing my understanding with you. I might be wrong, but that is what I have learned. Which country would you call the best friend of Eritrea? There are no friends or enemies when it comes to international politics. When your interests converge, you are friends. When your interests diverge, you are not friends. So, those whose interests match with Eritrean interests are Eritrean friends. Eritrea very critical of the US because US EU imposed sanctions on Eritrea. US West had close links with TPLF. It means US West are not Eritrean friends. Eritrean friends would be from Russia, China camps, from the Middle East and from neighboring countries. So those countries with which Eritrean interests align, they would be Eritrean friends. That is how international politics works, I think. Do you think Somalia will join the war if Ethiopia attacked the Eritrea for a sub? Very interesting question, by the way. The way Somalia is flexing muscles. Somalia, by the way, is not in a position to be a big challenge militarily to Ethiopia, but Somalia has lots of its own problems because Somalia is surviving as a country because there are AMISOM troops, Ethiopian troops on Somalia's territory. Otherwise, Somalia could have been taken over by Al-Shabaab so far. But Somalia managed to survive because of support from other countries. So I don't think Somalia would be thinking of attacking Ethiopia in case of Ethiopian attack on Eritrea. But it should be a matter of concern for Ethiopia that both Somalia's government and Al-Shabaab, they are condemning Ethiopia. Both are enemies. Somalia's government is conducting operations against Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab is against Ethiopian military presence in Somalia, and Somalia is calling Ethiopian PM Abiy a madman. So you see that PM Abiy's regional allies are almost nowhere to be seen. He has no regional allies, it seems. Tell us a little about popular Imran Khan. How many want to know about Imran Khan? Tell me. People are more concerned about Ethiopia, Eritrea. Imran Khan is a popular Pakistani politician, but in Pakistan, I've been saying military establishment has been in power since for almost 8 decades. Directly, indirectly, generals rule the country. There is controlled democracy in Pakistan. Parliament is meaningless, I think. Politics meaningless. Generals decide. Imran had support of military. That is how, through public support, some little bit military support, he came to power. And when he was in power, he tried to crush opposition parties while having cooperation of military. Military did not want him to cross red lines. He tried to take foreign policy into his hands, tried to develop ties with Russia, and that led to a reaction from military. Military removed him. He is in prison. Popular Pakistani politician, but in Pakistan, military matters. Military establishment matters for making governments, for removing prime ministers from power. There is no true democracy in Pakistan. Do you think if Ethiopia remove Al-Shabaab from terrorist list, can we see new government in Somalia next year? Interesting suggestion from you. No, Ethiopia won't remove Al-Shabaab because Al-Shabaab is an internationally recognized terrorist organization, US also and others too. I don't think Ethiopia will remove Al-Shabaab, but there could be some underhand dealing between Ethiopia and Al-Shabaab, though I don't know if it's happening or not. But Al-Shabaab is a threat to Ethiopia too. Ethiopia would like Al-Shabaab to become stronger because Al-Shabaab's ideology could spread in the Somali region of Ethiopia, Muslim majority region. And Ethiopia has been trying to keep Al-Shabaab away from Muslim majority Somali region of Ethiopia. I don't think Ethiopia would like to welcome Al-Shabaab. Who killed Benazir Bhutto? Someone is asking. It will take hours to speak on that. Is there any other country? Sai, do you think Ola purposefully stopped fighting ENDF heavy because it supports attack on Amara Fano? Yeah, definitely. Ola wants a Fano to be crushed. Ola is giving room to Ethiopian military. We are seeing just a few small incidents of clashes between Ola and military. Otherwise, there is relative calm in the Oromia region. Ola is enhancing its capability, recruiting more youths, conducting more trainings. It's an ideal atmosphere for Ola, by the way, these days. Do you think if Isaias Afwerki is gone, there will be a power vacuum in Eritrea and will this benefit or hurt Ethiopia? Difficult to say what will happen. Post Isaias Afwerki scenario could be a different scenario, a different Eritrea. Isaias Afwerki failed to build any institutions. I spoke on that in the previous live chat session too, that Isaias Afwerki has not created any long-lasting institutions in Eritrea. So what is his legacy? Leaders are judged on the basis of their legacy. What will be Isaias Afwerki's legacy? Is he working on leaving some legacy apart from Abraham Afwerki? So that is the question. And biggest legacy of a leader is institution. If a leader has left working transparent, democratic institutions, will be remembered for centuries. So post Isaias Afwerki is an unknown territory which no one really knows about what will happen. Once, if Isaias Afwerki lost power or if he was removed, then you would see, I think, several players emerge. There could be a fight, infighting external players involved too. So we could see a new Eritrea. I don't know it would be a better or worse Eritrea, I don't know. Someone is asking, if you are an Ethiopian PM today, what will you do? I am not Ethiopian PM, but if I am an Ethiopian PM today, I would announce start of talks with Fano. I would form a high level committee. I would make a formal offer of talks to the Ola, and I would announce public discussion between Tigray and Amhara over Volkai Traya Sagade. I would invite Eritrea, Ethiopia, Somalia, Djibouti for talks about a support, and I would focus on people of Ethiopia. I would try to ensure that people are fed before I export wheat, that people have access to basic amenities, basic necessities of life. I wouldn't be focusing on building of a palace. I wouldn't be focusing on building of prosperity party headquarters. I would be focusing on creating projects for creation of jobs. I would ensure that Ethiopian youths are employed. I can go on and on. By the way, leaders can do a lot. What matters is their vision. What do they want? What do they want to achieve? What legacy do they want to leave? Do they want their name to be remembered by building tall buildings or by building institutions? So that just depends upon how people think when they are in power. How do you see Brigade Nihamidow's possibility of toppling Isaias Afwerki? No possibility. Isaias Afwerki cannot be toppled by Brigade Nihamidow. Brigade Nihamidow can hurt Isaias Afwerki because Isaias Afwerki's government relies on remittances. Eritrea has no functional economy because businesses are not encouraged. No international organizations, businesses working in Eritrea. So Eritrea relies a lot on remittance. Brigade Nihamidow can hurt Isaias Afwerki's government by drawing remittances for Eritrea, though it has been tried in the past as well that Eritrea should not receive any remittance, but it could not be successfully implemented. But financially, Brigade Nihamidow can hurt Isaias Afwerki's government. Isaias Afwerki cannot be removed by being in the US, being in Europe. Now, let me share one piece of information with you, which is the topic of this live chat session, title of this session. No one asked any question about the topic of this session. People asking more questions about Fano, about Tigray, Eritrea relations, about Tigray's future, about Ethiopia-Eritrea relations, etc. But I want to share my understanding with you about the ongoing infighting, political infighting in the Tigray region of Ethiopia. Getachew on one side, TPLF on the other side, and majority of TPLF's central committee members are against, majority is against Getachew. Even Getachew's cabinet consists of those who support TPLF. So how to counter this threat, political threat from TPLF? Getachew has come up with a decision to counter TPLF's influence in the Tigray region in policy making, decision making. Getachew has formed an advisory council in the Tigray region. Professional associations, then NGOs, civil society organizations, political organizations, and others, they have been invited to be part of this advisory council. This advisory council is holding meetings. For around 2 weeks, discussions will be held. And then the contents, the conclusions, the recommendations of the discussions will be discussed and made public. And then decisions will be made how to progress, how to move forward in Tigray. Question is, why is there need for a broader public involvement in Tigray? Because Getachew has realized that if only interim TPLF, interim cabinet or TPLF are allowed to make decisions, he will be in a weak position, because his cabinet members and senior TPLF, they are on the same page, and his party is not in majority, his camp is not in majority, though he has support of military commanders, but still when it comes to decision making politically, he will be at a disadvantage. So that is why he has formed an alternative setup, advisory council. He addressed this advisory council, I think 2 days ago. Discussions being held. Now, this advisory council likely would have pro-Getachew elements. Organizations like GSTS and others, they'll be part of this advisory council. And recommendations of this advisory council will be hard to be rejected by the TPLF, by Tigray interim cabinet. So I personally think it's a very important development. Getachew is trying to counter TPLF's influence in Tigray. TPLF has a very huge network of party workers, network of Tigray interim government workers, and Getachew feels alone. That is why he has formed an institution to help him. Tigray Advisory Council is the name of this institution. That is what is new in Tigray. So it means that the tension between Getachew Reda and the other side, top senior TPLF leadership, is set to continue. And TPLF announced a few days ago, when its meeting was postponed and agenda could not be discussed, it said that meeting will be held in coming days. So we could see the meeting, TPLF's meeting, in coming days. Main problem for TPLF is that still it's not eligible to contest party election. It is not a political party so far. It wants restoration of its political status. Secondly, it wants a timeline for holding of election. It does not want Getachew Reda to be in power for years, because TPLF fears that its political standing in Tigray is getting weaker day by day if election is not held. So it wants early election, it wants its party status to be restored, it wants matters in its hands. It does not want Getachew Reda to take solo flight. So these are some of the issues being seen in Tigray. I think in coming days we could see more tension between Getachew camp and the other camp. That is what I wanted to share with you through this session. Free Amhara Nation has commented, I think, more than 100 times, we want an Amhara country. He's saying that. Why are you commenting again and again? People have read your comment. Who will Abiy give Volkayat? Well, ideally, ideally, if Volkayat remains disputed, maybe it suits Ethiopian federal government, maybe, because both parties will be relying on PM Abiy's support. He knows that if he gives Volkayat to Tigray, Amhara will rebel. If he gives it to Amhara, Tigray will rebel. So it's a difficult decision to make for him. This continued status maybe suits the government. Maybe government does not want to make big decisions. It wants the status to continue. Do you think Israel have a base in Eritrean territory? Crystal clear. I don't know, but Israel, some Arab news sources reported about Israeli military presence on the islands, Eritrean islands. But Eritrea denies, so let's see, let's wait. But Eritrea never acknowledged the presence of UAE on Assam. UAE was there too. So I will speak if I have some clear evidence in terms of pictures, videos, images, then I'll share with you. Incognito. Will Tigray begin a new war if the disputed territories are given away? Tigray will not tolerate that. I don't know if it will open war or not, but it won't, especially Volkayat. Tigray wants access to Sudan no matter what happens. It will fight if Volkayat is given to Amhara and a decision is made. Free Amhara, please stop. You are sending the same comment 100 times. It makes me difficult to read others' messages when one viewer sends one comment so many times. Do you think Getachew will be assassinated by TPLF? I don't want to speculate on that. Can Tigray afford another war with Amhara? Yemagnal asks. Tigray cannot afford a war at this point of time. Tigray is already devastated. People of Tigray just out of a war. Infrastructure destroyed, people psychologically destroyed, women, children, elderly went through a lot. Just a few months ago, educational activities resumed in Tigray. Hospitals still being reactivated. So can Tigray imagine starting a new war? Tigray does not want a new war. Lulu A says hello. Hello Lulu. Why isn't Pretoria deal enforced? Well, enforcement of deal is a difficult issue. For example, Pretoria deal says that all forces will leave Tigray's territories, but Eritrea says that the forces where its forces are, those are parts of Eritrea. So what Eritrea is doing, it says it's not violation of Pretoria deal. Amhara forces in Volkayat, they say that this zone has always been part of Amhara. It was annexed by Tigray. So it's not a violation of Pretoria if Amhara forces stay there. So it's not just a simple, it's not very easy to implement Pretoria deal. Pretoria deal is difficult to be implemented because there are other linked issues which are old issues ongoing for years, decades, which are linked to implementation of Pretoria deal? And do you expect Tigray to completely disband its entire military while still Volkai is not given back to Tigray, Eritrean military in Zilambasa, Badme, etc.? So implementation is not easy. And then the accountability for war crimes, no likelihood. Your inquiry commission mandate expired, terminated. Transitional justice mechanism of Ethiopia, local indigenous setup, no likelihood of its delivery. So deal was only effective to the extent of silencing of guns. Guns have been silenced. That is what Pretoria deal achieved. Main issues are unresolved, not likely to be resolved. They can only be resolved if there is a broad discussion involving Tigray, Amhara, Eritrea, Ethiopia. Maybe a new Pretoria is needed, I think. Eritrea should be included, Amhara as well, Tigray to Abiy. All will start negotiations for a new Pretoria. That is the way to implement Pretoria. 51 minutes past, we're close to 1 hour mark. Thank you for watching, viewers. It was good to talk to you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for making me feel valued by talking to me, by sharing your input, by commenting, by buying these stickers, super chat stickers, thanks, super thanks, etc. See you this week again in the next live chat session with a new topic. This topic was about Tigray, but I respond to your questions too, which were on different issues. You can send me questions and your input through email as well, especially if you think that I'm missing out on something. There is a big development in Ethiopia and Eritrea which I am not reporting. Feel free to share with me your input. SAJID 67200 is my Gmail. SAJID 67200@gmail.com. If you think I am missing, I am not sharing latest information, do contact me. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.